When she said it, casually, almost like she was talking about the weather, something in my chest clenched. You don't make me feel alive anymore. It wasn't the first time she'd tossed that kind of line at me, but this time, the words landed differently, heavier, sharper. She took a slow sip of coffee, her hair still damp from the shower, eyes flicking toward the window, as though she expected me to react. I didn't. Instead, I smiled faintly, kissed the top of her head, and stayed silent. Inside, though, something had shifted. Patience had transformed into strategy. I decided not to answer her with anger, but with precision. For months, I've been noticing the tiny fractures in our life together. Late nights at work that didn't add up, hushed phone calls, new friends I'd never met, and trips she couldn't quite explain. Each detail, on its own, seemed harmless, but together, they began to draw a clear map of deceit. So I started keeping quiet records, messages, receipts, photos she didn't know I'd taken. I didn't rush. I planned. I wanted evidence so irrefutable that when the time came, there would be no escape. I reached out to a lawyer I trusted, calm, calculated, discreet. Together, we arranged everything like a surgical procedure. Dates, transactions, hotel bookings, screenshots, each labeled, time-stamped, organized into neat folders. This wasn't revenge for pleasure. It was justice. She had wanted excitement, and I was about to give her a version she'd never forget. The perfect moment came when she organized a party to celebrate her promotion. She wanted admiration, applause, validation. A night where she could shine in front of her friends and colleagues. I handled every detail, booked the venue, coordinated with the staff, ensured everything was flawless. She had no idea. When she arrived, radiant and glowing, surrounded by people ready to celebrate her success and charm, she looked unstoppable. But the spotlight she adored was about to reveal more than she ever imagined. As the night unfolded, music playing, glasses clinking, laughter floating through the air, I waited for the moment. Then I walked up to the microphone, tapped it lightly, and watched the room fall silent. Her confident smile faltered. You said, "I don't make you feel alive." I began evenly, my tone calm but cutting through the noise. "Tonight, I'll show you what being alive really means." A hush swept the room. Her friends looked uncertain. She let out a shaky laugh, assuming I was joking. Then I pressed a button. The slideshow began. At first, the images were harmless. Vacation photos, dinners, small memories we'd shared. Then came the screenshots, the messages, the hotel receipts. Transfers linked to names she couldn't hide from anymore. The room shifted. Gasps, stares, silence. Her playful expression disappeared. The empire she'd built, all charm and confidence, collapsed instantly. "Stop this," she choked, voice trembling. I didn't. The evidence spoke louder than I ever could. The man she'd been seeing stammered out something, but the truth drowned him. Every photo, every message, every date made the lie undeniable. Her friends, once mirrors reflecting her confidence, now stared back as witnesses to her unraveling. I stepped closer, speaking softly but with deliberate weight. Harmless fun, thrill, excitement. You wanted to feel alive, I said. Now you do. Her face went pale. Mascara streaked down her cheeks. The adrenaline she'd chased for months had finally found her, but in the form of public humiliation, loss, and consequence. I outlined the next steps clearly. Joint accounts frozen, assets secured, legal filings underway, and her privileges revoked under strict control. No one spoke. The reality was undeniable. This wasn't drama. It was surgical, deliberate, absolute. Her laughter was gone, replaced with disbelief. She pleaded, begged, reached for excuses, but they fell apart in the silence. Her audience, once admirers, now looked at her with judgment, pity, and distance. The man beside her quietly slipped away, leaving her alone with what she created. I didn't watch with joy, only with a grim satisfaction that truth had finally caught up. By the end of the night, the lights dimmed, the music faded, conversations hushed. She sat motionless, stripped of pride, absorbing the wreckage of her own making. Messages started pouring in, not of sympathy, but judgment, curiosity, and disbelief. She had wanted to feel alive. Now she was raw, shaken, exposed. Months later, when she tried to reconcile, I met her with the same calm precision. You said you wanted to feel alive. I told her quietly. I gave you something living. Consequences. They're alive. They're real. And they don't let go. She nodded faintly. Some lessons are cruel, she whispered, because they're true. She craved thrill, attention, excitement. And I gave her the most powerful form of all, accountability. And she felt every ounce of it.